Hey everybody, welcome to your DIY wood sign kit tutorial. My name is TJ, I am the creator of this kit. So today we're going to show you how to make one of these start to finish. So when it comes to your door, from unboxing what all comes with it, to when it's ready to go on the wall. So today, we're going to show you how to make this guy. The mountains are calling and I must go. Super popular kit that we have, so I hope you guys like the tutorial. Let's check it out. Hey, what's going on everybody? So this is the tutorial on how to make all this work nicely. So first off, we're going to open the box up. This is what it's going to come in. Demo purposes, we obviously didn't tape it. So untape it. These are all the ingredients that you got. We're going to have a touch-up brush in here, a squeegee for applying the stencil, a couple of protective wraps. The stencil itself, we picked to do one of the harder ones that we offer today just to show you how easy it is. We're going to have your pre-finished board. This is the aged white right here. Right now we have two colors of paint in here. We did apply the second paint coat on there. So we're going to do a little bit, two colors on the mountains. And we're going to have the sponge brushes. So we will get rid of this box and we'll show you how this works. So, board. Make sure before you do this, you realize where the hanger is. This is the top. We don't want you to put the stencil on upside down. That would be no good. This is only a one-time use stencil, so very important step. We're gonna put this off to the side here. For the fun part, the stencil. We recommend taking the squeegee that came with it. Just go over it. Start from the inside, go out, try and get some of the air bubbles out. It does happen with heat and cold. It's just the transfer paper. Nothing we can really do about it. Once we got that all done, we're going to flip this bad boy over and we are going to peel left to right. So first step, we want to pull the white piece off. We're going to find an edge here. Make sure we leave the blue. So this is actually 3 layers. If you look in here, you got the white, the blue stencil itself, and the clear transfer paper. So we are just going to pull the white backing off right now. So what we want to do here, we're going to hold it flat. We want to roll it back on itself very slowly. We go left to right so we can see what we're pulling. Because right here, I'm going to show you what happens. It's going to pull the stencil up a little bit. Like on the S, it's stuck to the backing still. So what we want to do is just repress and then it'll come right off. So got to pay attention there. Don't want to rip the stencil. And we're going to just walk through this very slowly, pulling it back on itself. The flatter you can get it, the easier it's going to be for you. Just push that A back on there. And like I said, take your time. This isn't a rush project. It's not going to be done right in 5 minutes. And we're pulling. Paying attention still. I kind of look from this angle just so I can see what's coming up. So that's how easy that was. This is garbage. We do not need this for anything, so throw that over there. We do offer these in a stuck as well, so this will be actually on the wood before you get it, so you guys don't have to worry about that step. That is completely up to you if you feel comfortable in doing this or not. Some people don't like to do it. It is a little tricky, but practice makes perfect. So on here, what we recommend is taking this guy. It is going to be a little staticky. We're going to start from the top. Place it on our board. So we're going to kind of guesstimate here very lightly. We don't want to put any pressure on this because once we do, it's going to stick. If you guys do set it down, you can pull this up. Be mindful of when you pull it up that you don't tear anything. So once we have it centered on here where we like it, hand in the middle, outside. So just pushing from the inside out, and this is what this orange squeegee is for. So we're going to start here. Just go out, out, Same thing this way, out. We don't want to push the squeegee, we want to drag it. So we're using this edge to drag it. All right. So that is all on there. Don't have to go nuts on pushing that. Now we are going to remove the transfer paper. Transfer paper, we're going to find an edge here. Same thing as we did with the backing, pull it back onto itself. This one, it's not going to pull anything up really. Still pull slow, don't just rip it off. But we're just going to pull it back onto itself. And our stencil is on there. So that's how easy that is to apply that guy. We'll get rid of that. Pro tip here, what we like to do is just take our orange squeegee, in the cracks, gently push the stencil in there. It's going to keep a lot of the bleed through out when you're ready to paint. We're just going to push in the crack wherever there's a letter crossing a crack. So we got those. So that guy is ready to go. I'll show you what that looks like. And now we're going to do our paint. We're going to flip this guy over, grab our paint, make sure it's shooken up good. Now you can use anything here to put the paint on. What do we got laying around? We got a piece of wood here. So we're going to use a piece of wood. Shake that guy up good. We're going to throw a squirt here. Now we're going to open our brushes up. Now this is completely up to you guys. We send you a 4-pack of brushes, so it's whatever size is more comfortable. The medium one's usually the best bet for all these signs, so we're going to pull that guy out. We'll set those up there for now. Here's your brush. Just going to daub some paint on there. We're going to try and soak up this whole dollop we just put on here. And here's the fun part, we get to paint. So we're gonna do our mountains in black, everything else in black, and we're gonna come through at the end and just put little white caps on our mountains here. So we're gonna take our black and we're gonna go up and down, slowly. Very, very light pressure. We're gonna do multiple coats here, so we do not wanna go too heavy. That's how you get the crisp lines, is multiple coats and slowly. So we're just test up here. That's about what we want. And we're just gonna come over and go here. Anytime we're crossing a crack, we wanna go up and down. We don't wanna go this way because we're pushing paint into that crack and you're gonna see it once you pull the stencil. So all up and down. We're just going down over everything right now. Be mindful of your edges as well. Especially on the whiteboards, you will see it if you go over it with black paint. So just flying through here. Just a super light coat to start. We just want to seal those edges on that stencil. So we're going to go real light over all this. And this is kind of whatever makes sense for you guys. This is just how we do and we recommend it. Found it's the easiest way to do it. Some people like to dab this here. I find that you get a little bit more bleed through when you pull it off. You're gonna not have as crisp lines. We want as crisp lines as possible. So really light. You see how you can still see this through there. So we're not trying to cover it all the way. Just going through it. And see how long that paint's lasting? We do not need a lot of paint. So we send you a tube that'll probably last you a while. You can use this for other projects too. It is just acrylic paint. So here, just watching our edges still. Real light over here. Same thing down here. And the next part's my favorite part. I'll show you what's coming up here in a second. A couple more letters to do. Now there is a little bit of dry time between here for you guys. So what we use, we just have a small little fan that I use for this purpose. So I'm just gonna crank this guy up. I'm gonna try and center that over there. And we're gonna let that dry. So while that's drying, cheers. Takes about 5 minutes to dry. You can kind of watch it. The paint's gonna lose its shininess once it's dry. We'll kind of clean up our mess here a little bit while we wait for that. Now this touch-up brush, after we're done with all this, some people like to fill in the cracks so you can't see any sort of white like it was stenciled between the boards. I personally like that. We give this to you just for an option, so we probably won't use it today. So this guy's pretty dry already. I am in the garage right now, so it is quite warm in here, so this stuff's gonna dry pretty quick. Well, we'll give it another minute or two. And if you guys don't have a little fan like this, I think I got this one on Amazon for like 10 bucks. They're fairly cheap. But when we do them in the house, we use the big box fans that we have set up and everything else so we can dry multiples at the same time. So if you do have a box fan, feel free to use that as well. All right, I'd say that's probably about dry enough here. So we're just gonna leave this fan on actually. So we got a cross breeze coming in here. We're gonna grab some more paint, throw another squeeze on there, soak that up with this. And we're gonna do the same thing over again. So we're gonna do this 3 times. First and second are very light. Third time, we're going to finish as dark as we want it. So same thing, top to down, keeping it light. Still gonna see it a little bit. You're gonna see the white through. We do send you instructions as well. They are written instructions, but I am a very visual person, obviously. So watching somebody else do this is going to make it a lot easier for a lot of people, I feel. That's why we are making this video for you guys. And kind of a reason behind this whole idea was I used to get a lot of compliments on things that I would make, and I said, hey, you know, that wasn't that difficult to make, but a lot of people like it. Why don't I put something together for everybody to do and show them how? And this is the brainchild that came out. So kind of a do-it-yourself sign kit. Eventually here, we're gonna start offering a couple different sizes. Right now, the only size that we offer is a 13 by 10 board. We have 10 different stencil designs that you can choose from. And like I said, we do offer these, we call them stuck with the stencil applied already. So if you got shaky hands, you don't want to deal with it, you know, your kids are doing it, something like that, you don't want them to mess it up, we will apply it for you. All they got to do is come in and paint it and pull it, and you will have an awesome sign. So same thing here. Now by leaving the fan on while we're doing this, it's actually drying as we go. So it's going to dry up here before it dries where we end. Kind of speeds it up a little bit. But like I said, this is not a rush project. We're not in a hurry here. We're just having a good time making a sign. Get in there a little bit more. All right, same thing. Give it a couple minutes. Have another sip. So what I'm gonna do at the end here too, like I said, I was gonna put little white caps on here. So after this coat, we're gonna let it dry pretty good. Now I'm gonna grab this little brush out of here. We actually got 2 extra brushes. So same thing. These work for multiple things, other projects, anything you gotta apply paint. They're pretty awesome for. Flip this around, let it hit this other edge real quick. All right, so the last one we are not going to brush. We're gonna dab, and we're gonna dab lightly. So we can kind of touch this. It's feeling pretty dry. The biggest thing is waiting for everything to dry completely. If you go too heavy on this, it is wood, wood's porous. So you're gonna flood this edge here and it's gonna leak through and you're not gonna have that clean line like the stencil has. We don't want you to have that. We want it to look awesome. And we want you to be able to say that you made it. All right, so for the last coat here, a little bit more paint, not much. That should do that whole sign for us because we are going to squeeze some of this out of here that's left in here. So we're going to load this guy up again just by dabbing up and down, and that's the same motion we're going to use on here. So practice on here, you'll see the coverage that we're going to get. Same thing here. We're dabbing, we're not sliding when we're dabbing because we're going to be pushing paint if we do that. But we're dabbing easy over the cracks. You don't want to squeeze it in there. But by dabbing this, you're going to see that it fills in the little brush marks. And we're just doing this on the last coat so it looks uniform. So still be mindful of the edges, especially when you're doing this because it can push out over the edge when you get to like some of these periods and the corner pieces. And then you got a big black mark and you got to try and get it off and it's not fun. I'll just keep going over this. I'm just spinning this a little bit just to get all the paint out of it. And you can use the edge a little bit of this guy. Just going over everything, making sure it looks the same so you don't see any brush marks. So same thing here, gonna get the rest of this off of this wood. And we're gonna finish her out on the bottom. Okay, I lied. We're gonna put a little bit more paint. We're getting pretty dry. So same thing, a little squirter of paint. And we're gonna continue down here. With these kits, we do make everything in-house as well. This isn't like a kit that you buy from the store that everything kind of, comes from a different spot and it's Chauncey. This is all made in the garage. This is all handmade by me in the garage. There. And by leaving this fan on when I did this on purpose And we started on top on purpose because we want to put those white caps on there. So those white caps, that top is looking like it's almost dry already by the time I get down to the bottom. So, I mean, you guys don't have to worry about doing it quick like this, but I didn't want to make this a super long video for you to have to sit through and watch either, so. Alright, that looks good. Just double check everything, make sure we got all those edges. Beautiful. So same thing, white paint. I'm going to shake it up a little bit here. And give you a squeeze. That's way too much, but hey, what you gonna do? We won't use it all. We're gonna throw this guy, get a little dolly on there. Alright, same thing, test one. Don't go over the black because you are going to make gray. That's that 4th grade art class lesson right there. So just on the top, we're gonna go real light. We'll say we want to come down to here. So just real light so it looks like snow. We don't want to go solid. We're gonna give it that fade look. So same thing here. Shouldn't need too much paint to do this. We're just gonna do 1 coat of this. Let's go here. Alright, so there's our little snow on our mountain. We're going to let this guy dry for a couple minutes longer. Let's hit this. And then the fun part, we get to peel it off. So just wait till you lose the sheen here. Hold it up in front of the fan. Get rid of this wet paint. And then we're going to pull this stencil off. When you pull this stencil off, we want to pull left to right. So we're going with the grain of the wood. Sometimes if you pull it this way, you might pull up the wood a little bit. You might pull up the paint. We're going to put as less stress on this board as possible. I'm going to get this paint out of the way. And we're going to pull this guy. So this is all pretty much dry. You can see a little wet part here, but not very. So to pull this, we're going to start on the corner. Same thing, pulling it back on itself. This is going to rip. It's inevitable. You can't do it without it. I've tried. So we're just going to pull the main part here. And you see how crisp those lines are already? That's what we want to see. So this is all going to be garbage. We just roll it up in our hand like that. Leave it there. Start down here. Left to right, remember? Trying not to pull up. Pulling all this. Grabbing this end. Some of these do leave little pieces where it is easier to grab with the tweezers. It's completely up to you guys if you guys have tweezers laying around. Otherwise, we use a pick kit that you can get. Local hobby shops have them. They kind of look like dentist tools. They work really awesome for this stuff, getting into small places. Fortunately, we don't want to send you guys those. It can hurt yourself. And we want to make this for everybody. So we'll do it the old school way with the fingers. So as we're pulling this here, we'll find another edge. This is still a little bit wet. Could have probably let it dry a little bit longer. Like I said, there is no rush, but for video purposes, we don't want to leave you guys hanging for 3 years. But the beauty is you can fast forward, pause, rewind, and all that jazz. That guy. So see how those mountains turned out? They look pretty cool on there. Give it a little effect. That's just a little trick that we like to do. Layer the paint a little bit, give it a little depth. Looks pretty cool on the dark stain board too if you do a gray and a white. Here, and of course I have no fingernails, so what do I have laying around that I can use to get in there? Nothing. Oh, we're gonna use a screw. So just in here, we're just gonna stab this guy a little bit, just to lift that up. Same thing with all these circles. Like I said, this is where a tweezers comes in, but we do not have one next to us right now. Little E. And this is just like a sticker, so if you got fingernails, even better. You can do this without a question, but I do not. Let's grab it over here. And well, bam, you got your first sign. So like I said, pretty easy to do. We didn't put too much effort there, but we have a super crispy sign that we can give as a gift. We can hang it on our wall, and they're awesome. So I hope you guys like the kit. Oh, we forgot one little piece. I'm rushing myself. There, that's better. So like I said, hope you guys like the kit. Thank you again for watching us, and tell your friends.